Yes, we are back here for what will be the third best of one today, and it's not only 10% luck, it's not 20% skill, it's not 15% concentrated power of will. It's 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% a chance for some of these teams to make their name as they try to battle their way onto the major. My name is Trey Saranthus, and I will be the host of this desk alongside of some guys that seemingly know a thing or two about Counter-Strike. Now, guys, those your names. Sorry, one more time.
I'm Chad Sponge Birchall.
I'm Mathieu Maniac Kikere.
I didn't realize we're doing our own intros now. I thought that was part of your job here.
Sorry,
Too busy stealing Fort Minor lyrics, trying to turn it into an intro. Is it because we're at the miners?
Yes.
And you used to work in a fort?
Yeah, actually, that's not bad. But also, Chad, because you were banging this on in between the games, so I was just like, yeah, this kind of bangs, so let's go with it.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
But honestly, I just kind of wanted to hear Maniac say his last name. Still would have butchered it had I tried to say it the first day. But nonetheless, today it is not about butchering, I hope. We're going to be going on into our next matchup. It will be Sprout versus the Ninjas in Pajamas in what will be a best of one. So, guys, right away, right off the bat, let's start talking about Sprout.
What you need to do is plant a seed in some
enough.
soil and then water it. And also you're going to require sunlight. And then after a period of time, it'll sprout up out of the ground, and then 5 players, 3 from Denmark and 2 from Germany, will appear, and they'll play some Counter-Strike.
Okay, cool. Next
Yeah, no, that was so beautifully said. Maybe we just leave it there. That was so,
we just
so
quiet
beautiful.
now for the rest of the segment?
Actually, their name before Sprout was Seed, so you know they completely played into that, which is beautiful. No, an interesting squad really with 2 more experienced players, let's say, with Speedy and Dennis, who have played at a higher level than the other teammates. As we established before, a team that almost ended up together by default, but somehow found the synergy and the chemistry between them. They seemed to have a lot of fun. They were next to us in the player lounge watching the game, seemed to have a good time together. So who knows what the limits are for this team now?
Well, they have quite an entourage with them, all yelling "Off gets Junge," but that is really besides the point. What is the point is when we walked up there back into the room after our segment, Mr. Nato was very excited and very happy with their win earlier, and maybe a little bit too elated. And I think that could be an issue. I think they're too happy, or he at least was too happy with where they got with that one victory, right? It's only one game at a minor. You need to win 2 games to get out of this group and at least get onto the playoffs. And then from there, you still need to win some best of 3s to get all the way to the major. And that's what this is about. One game, it's just the opening. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, boys. Let's stay focused.
Let's not elate ourselves at one big time. It's not one big elation. Let's have a couple of elations.
Oh, you want to have like little... or like stepping stones.
Yeah, stay on the edge of elation and then kind of just run with it, Chad.
Okay. Well, running with that, you can see the guys on your screen right here, right now, and the man we were talking about was sitting there warming up very profusely. But we have the in-game leader for this team, which is Cyclone, and then or Cycron, depends on how you want to pronounce it. I come from a country where we say things weird, so let me off the hook.
It's pretty true.
And then Percy, who is the entry fragger, very aggressive player for this squad, and they've kind of won that first game off of a lot of, I suppose, post-plant situations, and then there was some individual brilliance coming out from Spitty there to close that one out. 16-9 scoreline, but I think it was a closer matchup than what the scoreline says.
Absolutely, and I think in the previous segment you put it very well that clutches were extremely important in their victory against Kingwin, and they're up against what we could call probably the best clutchers, like Get Right, most famously known as one of the best clutcher ever. And I think overall NiP is a team, because of their experience, that can play this 3v3, this 2v2, all not really to perfection, but really well, let's put it this way. And this edge that Sprout was able to find against Kingwin, I don't think they would have the same opening against NIP.
Well, you say NIP, and perhaps we talk about them a little bit now. The Ninjas in Pajamas looking to solidify their place in another major. It's been a little bit of time since they've been in a major.
Hot minute.
It's been a hot minute, several minutes. I think maybe, what, 2 years?
I think it's 2 cycles that they
have
cycles.
played. My goodness.
When
Either
they
way,
lost to Vegas Squadron, right? That was like the E-League major in 2017.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Once upon a time, in a place far, far away from where we are geographically. Let's not, get any Star Wars references. But perhaps we talk about the Ninjas and the Ninjas that we just saw.
You don't want to talk about historic ninjas. You want to talk about the new ninjas.
Yes, it's not the 87-0 Ninjas. That's done.
Okay.
It's over. It was iconic, and it cemented its place in Counter-Strike history forever. But now we are on to a new era of ninjas.
It is a historic name, and it is a new roster. So you need to think about the new parts in this team and how they're going to come together. Basically, the fact of the matter is Lekro has taken over the in-game leadership role from Dennis, who when he came into the team grabbed that mantle, and everybody kind of questioned that in itself. It didn't ever seem like it was was going to be a long-term prospect for him to continue that. And as we've noted, it's happened very quickly. We have the newest member and one of the youngest players in the team when it comes to playing Counter-Strike on a professional level, taking over that job. There's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure there, and you saw that his stats were quite poor in the previous matchup. Now, I don't normally, associate Lekro with being a carry by any means, but he's a middle of the pack, he's a rock, he's a safe pair of hands. Now that he's doing the in-game leadership stuff, there's a lot more on your mind, and this is going to be an interesting thing to see how it plays out as we get more of a sample size going forward in this tournament to see how this squad's going to function.
I do like a good sample size, a real good sample size. And perhaps, do you have anything you want to add to that, Minion?
No, I think also it's probably going to be a journey for Lekro to be able to play his best individual game while in-game leading. That's far from easy. I think we have a few of in-game leaders in the top CS who are actually able to have a lot of individual impact.
Yeah.
That's not very easy to achieve, so Lekro is going to have to do that. Also, I think it's pretty early to draw conclusions. Obviously, this is a new iteration of NIP, a new functioning, but what we could see is Dennis actually stepping up massively.
Right.
Arguably, he has been impaired for a little bit of time while being an in-game leader.
Yeah.
He's known to be able to be a superstar player, big impact player. Now that he has the freedom again, is he going to go back to that level?
And this is a guy that can come alive in pistol rounds, really change the tide of an entire game, maybe even change the momentum in your favor.
Yeah, sure. He has that synonymous thing with him, the fact is he is a pistol god, but I actually don't think he did a terrible job performing as an individual while in-game leading throughout that brief period of time when he first came into NIP and took over that role. I actually thought that he did a very good job, so I'm surprised to see them make this transition. If I'm going to be completely honest, and if I'm going to forecast the future, I give this roster 2 months, maybe 3.
Damn. And just like that, hopes and dreams have been shattered. A service that you can actually pay Chad for. It's called Depressing Sessions with Chad. All taxes and applicable fees apply. Now, with that said, moving forward, let's talk a little bit more about the Ninjas and perhaps even Sprout. We've got 2 Dennises to talk about.
This is
Dennis v. Dennis. It's Dennis on Dennis violence. Dennis on Dennis crime.
This is a caster's dream. This is what you dream of when you go to bed at night and when you're going to do play-by-play and you're going to have to say 2 different guys on opposite teams with the same name. It really just makes everything clear as day for the viewer at home.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Dennis Edmond, not to be confused with Dennis Rodman, 2 totally different people.
Okay.
And then Dennis Howell, also known as Dennis. Okay,
so we have Dennis and Dennis. Now, both Dennises have played at majors. One Dennis is German, one Dennis is Swedish. They both have facial hair of some variety. It's clear that they both have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth.
That's pretty good, man.
Down there.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff right there.
So from physical attributes, they both have the faces covered.
Okay, just to talk about Counter-Strike, I think Dennis 1N. That's how I'm gonna
Dennis 1N.
1N and double N.
Okay.
The 1N I think has really appreciated Synchrone coming into the team. I think he has come to life again because obviously in his time in Mousesports he was criticized, probably. I mean, rightfully so. I don't know. I don't really remember the performance. But now that Synchrone is back, he has actually put much better numbers. He looks like he's back in confidence. He's in a tier 2-1 environment where he can actually shine. So I want to see how he can perform throughout the tournament. Obviously, that would mean he would have to go through playoff for that to see. But definitely a prospect for Sprout, I think.
If we're going to match them up head-to-head in terms of which of these 2 players is more storied and which of these 2 players has more experience and is better individually, it would have to be Dennis from NIP.
Right.
He's achieved a lot more in his career. He's been towards the top of the scene for a longer period of time, whereas Dennis, the German Dennis playing for Sprout, has been left in limbo and had to battle his way back to this current point. So when you look at them head-to-head and probably influence they're going to have in the server, you would put your stock in Dennis from Sweden.
And actually, in Cologne, German Dennis approached me and he said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "Yeah, you're Dennis, but not that other Dennis." Right? So something like that along those lines. And actually, not to be confused with the rest of the bracket that will play out in best of 3s, this is a best of 1. So the map veto is crucial, and we're actually going to be able to take a look at that right now. Guys, where do we think it's going to land? What digital playground are we going to find ourselves battling over the pixel?
I think the fact that we already saw a nuke come out means that NIP will be wanting to stay as far away as that one as humanly possible. This is where I think normality will be restored and we'll go back to more of a middle ground map. I'm thinking an Inferno would be good for both teams in terms of, the basic fundamentals that come into play. There is even a chance, I don't know if this iteration of NIP is feeling the caches of the world, are they?
What's interesting is both teams in their first game actually had a lot of overlap in their veto. Yeah. Both teams removed cache and Dust2 in their first best of 1. So unlikely, but it's going to be interesting to see who actually goes and veto Dust2 and cache when you know your opponent team has done it. Obviously, you've done some research.
Yeah.
I think the field is kind of open. I would say Inferno is a good guess.
Mirage maybe down that end as well.
I'm wondering if Sprout would be ready to take the train road.
Yeah, look, I think against NIP with the amount of AWP players that they have, it can be a good map for them, but it does require them to be online and hitting their shots because they don't have, I suppose, like a main ride or die AWPer in that regard. You know, Dennis can pick it up, Forrest can pick it up, there's no problems there, but they don't really build their team around it. So it is going to be between Mirage and Inferno. I think we'll see Inferno just purely because I don't know where NIP goes. I still think it's going to be Inferno coming out here. This is a map that both teams in the past have seemed relatively comfortable on, and that'll be it.
I called it. Saying.
You're pretty smart, man.
Thanks, man. I'm 1 for 2 today.
Nice.
So, on predictions. Either way, yes, Inferno will be the matchup. Inferno will be the map in which these teams carry out their battle on, one might say. And we can talk about ops, but not really. We talk about how they might not have a huge impact on this map. But what can we look out for?
I think the factors from both games is once NIP actually got into the match and they established the T side, it looked well-rounded and they were playing as a unit and they had the basics there. So for them, I think they're going to be relatively warm. It's not going to be starting cold at this point, so I'm not too worried about that. But it's more for Sprout, the issue of they were relying a lot in winning the 3v3 post-plant situations. This isn't a map like Nuke where it's so chaotic in that under bomb site and you get a chance to just spring on out. It's a map where once you lose bomb sites, Trace, you get locked out and it's very difficult to get back in.
You don't want to be locked out, you don't want to be left out, and you damn sure don't want to lose this best of one. This is a guaranteed easy path through the bracket, and you want to work smarter, not harder. Now, guys, we're going to get some quick predictions from you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sprout.
And again, the house is divided, and that's completely okay. I'm going to have to side on the side of NIP. I feel like the magic is there, and perhaps maybe they're even a little more warmed up than with that other best of one under their belt. Either way, to talk about not belts but anything else will be the commentary duo known as Sadakist and Henry Greer.
Yeah, we both have different uses for belts, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting that Chad is never going to predict for NIP ever.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to
No, he
be
doesn't
a
like
fan
them.
right now.
I think it's personal. I think Chad doesn't like NIP.
You would say against
We're
a
not
team
supposed
like
to have a bias, but that goes both ways, Chad.
you'd think that against Sprout they would be the favourites here, but they hardly looked that convincing in their victory over Red Reserve. That's a team you'd expect them to walk over, really. But it's the first showing of Lekro being the in-game leader. We are going to be playing Inferno here. There's Forrest right in the middle of your screen, but it's Lekro's in the middle of the desk. There's Team Sprout. Managed to win their game earlier against Kingwin. It was quite convincing on Nuke. They looked pretty decent there.
Do you know what we're about to get?
What are we going to get?
Big D versus Little D.
Dennis and Dennis. Not this again. I've avoided this for 2 years, and it's back.
It's back. Well, with that, it's Get Right to get started. He'll take down Cyclone. Speedy goes, back out toward the alt mid position, and Get Right still inside of that window at Boiler. He finds his second res, gets Percy, and a great start from NIP. CT-sided start as well. Unlike their endeavor earlier, they might get the ball rolling in the first round. Dennis, pistol. This Dennis with pistol normally very good, but Nano Suffix has other ideas. Dennis Little, Dennis Jr. He's going to wrap back toward Ruins, but Nano's going to take down Rez after been the only one left alive. He's got 2 kills, needs an ace to win out the round. Might have a chance. He can try and isolate Get Right, gets the shot as well. Switches over to USP. Still has 72 HP. They won't give him a rite of passage towards CT. All they have to do is watch that choke point. So he can't run this bomb to A, but they certainly have time to work with, or rather, he certainly has time to work with to try and isolate the 2 players that are remaining for NIP. Forrest at new box, Lekro in the open. Forrest needs to swing, but smart play from NATO to try and get to the corner and isolate it. Still, the shot comes out for Lekro.
Well, there we go. Nice convincing stuff there from the Ninjas. Aggressive at the very start from Get Right towards second middle. They find the opening couple of kills there to 5 versus 3. That funnels the Sprout squad in towards B. They get a few frags in return, but unfortunately no plant. Means there's almost certainly going to be a force buy here, and indeed there is. The CZ's the armor. Got a couple of smokes and flashbangs as well. We'll see whether they can make this work for themselves. I hope they can. Make it exciting. They're going to be rushing B by the looks of things. We'll see if that works out for them, as we should have quite a fast round here. We'll see which way it goes. Red's going to be baiting in for Get Right here at the coffins as they throw a bit of utility just to make sure no 5 players can just run for enough full vision. Then it's opens things up, but he might have his work cut out for him here. It's going to be Red's suit making it all happen. Bomb will go down. Forgive us for the Dennis references there. I know it's confusing. We'll try and differentiate between the 2, but it will be a victory for NIP. The bomb goes down there for Sprout. They can't buy into the next round considering they force here, but it definitely helps things out for the first gun round. They could even go a little bit of investment for the next round. So there we have it. It will be 2-0 NIP on the CT side of Inferno. Another game where if you win this one, I think that's you're looking very good in the upper bracket. If you lose it, you're still in the tournament, of course, not an elimination game or anything like that. But NIP is certainly the favourites here. The more established squad, stronger fraggers, more experienced players. But Natty, Safix and Co did look decent on Nuke, we said that again, and his AWPing was actually pretty decent on that particular map. And CT side Inferno, that's going to be very important. As the desk pointed out, NIP don't really necessarily have a designated AWPer. It's between Forrest and Dennis, whoever fancies it. We did see
But do
Dennis.
they have a designated driver?
They might do.
Everyone should. Don't drink and drive.
Never do that.
When you drive, when you drink, never drive. What's the new Heineken slogan? I can't remember.
I don't know.
With Nico Rosberg in the commercial.
I haven't seen it. But yes, that's good advice. Sage advice there. And we'll see whether this eco will yield any sort of success. Get right, what are you up to? Well, that's overcommitment. Fumbles off the top. Finds himself in a pretty compromised position there. Should be fine in terms of the outcome of the round, but still an unnecessary death for the sake of one kill potentially. I'm sure he didn't mean to drop off completely. He's fumbled it slightly. Dennis rotates over now. Bomb will be heading up towards B. That grenade will it do any damage? Not really. A little bit towards Percy. Smoke down. And at this point, it's even worth going back towards A. It's unlikely to do much of this round at all. Dennis spamming the boost. Narrowly misses out on the frag, but Rez makes up for it.
Rez takes down Cyclone. Hold on. 4. Rez, what a shot from Percy. Percy's a great name. I think I'll name my next dog Percy. Dennis, good shot onto the man I mentioned. Good shot from NATO in return on the Deagle. Takes down Big D. And immediately Deagle still to hold back towards CT, but Lekro gets the shot back. I'm definitely not going to name my next dog Percy, by the way.
No?
No.
Any names in mind?
Yeah. If I get a Husky, I kind of want to stick to the Huskies.
Okay.
I'd consider Shepherds, maybe Labs again, but kind of overbred where I am. Possibly a Dalmatian. I was looking at one the other day just out of curiosity.
Okay.
But I'll probably stick with Huskies, and if I get a mixed eye, I'm going to call it Jakiro.
Okay.
The one red eye, one blue eye.
What's that from?
Jakiro, Dota 2, support hero.
Yeah. Never played it.
Yeah, well, you're lost.
Well, for now, NIP, huge advantage. Not much of a bonus situation. See, they've gone for double orbs here. They lost considerable manpower in the previous round with 3 players going down to those Deagles. Dennis and Rez. I have seen Rez pick up the orb from time to time. We're working out too well for Dennis here. Nice approach, though, from Sprout. Confidence. But he will lose the first kill. Luckily, Dennis makes up for it. It's going to be Forrest right behind enemy lines here. Spots 2. He could have a couple of frags available to him. Oh, my goodness. Forrest, that's got to be one of the worst whiffs we've seen all tournament. That was his on a plate. That was the round. You could see the look on his face as soon as he did it. Looked up in the air, realized what he had done. A player like Forrest, that's would assume would be like maybe 2 or 3 kills with that sort of play. Fantastic positioning, great awareness. Unfortunately, really couldn't connect the shots. Couldn't even find 1 kill. Got a bit of, I guess the player moved just as he started firing, but still, Forrest, with that sort of play, I expected a lot more. 2 orbs will survive. And that's the first round for Sprout here on the T side of Inferno. Apologies for that.
Are you hearing all these too?
Yes.
He's got a bunch of them.
Oh, no, were you getting sound effects? I'm not getting them.
Oh, no, you're hearing what Nicholas is saying.
No.
He was giving me dog names.
Oh, okay. I could hear your conversation. You were talking quite loudly.
Sorry. So he was giving me dog names. He was giving me like Wolfgang Puck.
Okay, that's good.
Sarah what was the last one? Sarah Jessica Barker.
That's good as well.
Yeah, there was Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
What was the other one, Nick? There was something about Pause. Ozzy Pawsborn.
That's good.
Yeah,
well,
that's not bad.
We've got some options at least now.
Yeah, none of which will be used. I told him I was just going to call it Nicholas because it's probably going to be another female, and then for it'll be a bitch. Got you, Nick.
Well, here we go then. The next gun round here, remember they saved over the AWPs, but it has been an expensive couple of rounds for an IP. Dennis and Rez added once again. This seems that that's where they want to be. It's not Forest AWPing at all. Rez will be given the task of AWPing towards B. Remember, it was Draken who was the main AWPer for the longest time. Well over a year. Only found one tournament victory. That was IEM Oakland. Speedy now with mid-control once again. We'll see whether this will grant them the same sort of success they had before. Rez might have some pressure though, as he sits right in front of the bomb site here. Hits the first player, doesn't get the collateral, but nice 5 versus 4. Falls back to reposition.
Does. Lots of smoke down, both directly in front of him and to the left, guarding off part of the CT entrance, so he considers that they might have gotten through. Dennis is already there, however. So 2 with Lekro, that's covered. He'll go back out to find more. Missed shot, had to have hit, but that one does on Dennis. 2 up close. A third no scope, not quite, but Dennis shows up with a quick scope, and the ops between the two of them find 3 kills.
Yeah, the mean green machines there getting it done. We'll see Speedy try and do anything he can in this now 3 versus 1. He's got low HP though. I don't think the bomb will even be planted as Forrest comes through. This will be a fake plant, I'd assume. It looks like he's trying to position it. Yeah, there's the fake. Hoping that'll bait someone out. He could have actually got the plant there. He'll be kicking himself a little bit now. As soon as he goes for it, they'll run on the corner, kill him, and that will be it. In those situations, if you think you can get the bomb down there, normally better to do that to get the extra cash. They'd still have another buy regardless. They'll have a couple of compromises. The German Dennis has $2,000. The Rez, he does miss the easier of the 3 shots, but makes up for it with those 2 no-scopes. Dennis very fast to back him up as well, so well played by them. They maintain the double AWP setup, and now they have an AK-47 for Forrest as well. Force Spike comes in from Sprouts. We're going to see 2 CZs, 3 AKs, and Dennis looking more comfortable as he wants to face towards T steps there. Lovely shot from Forrest, making up for that poor display from Boiler Room before. Certainly the favourites here. Good start on the CT side. Thing is, we've seen lots of one-sided first halves today, but we haven't really seen a very convincing game. We've seen some 13-2s throughout this tournament be converted right down to the wire.
It's true. We have. We've seen that not as commonly, but throughout, I think, some of the Counter-Strike lately. Forrest finding the shot on the AK, but now Safix again showing pistol poise. He takes down Lekro. Forrest responds. Speedy does get one back onto him, and now Nato's gotten onto the site, so it's a 2 versus 2. Bomb not yet planted. It is available to them. Smoke down in front of the library, and it should be immediately picked up. That said, taking their time about getting it. Therefore, Nato has to go aggressive, but Rez is quick. Speedy, gap in it. Couldn't quite catch Get Right as he retreats. They'll play this together, conceding the bomb plant and doing so, but a 4-1 score could become 5 if they play this right. Speedy, chance definitely that he can control it. Together they go, together they want to trade. He'll try and play an angle that's applicable behind the box and isolate them. He might catch Get Right behind, looked away, still managed to get it back, but was not ready for the second player to be in the same spot.
Well, hold by Reds there, 2 very important shots connect. Great aimer, young player, and adding AWPing to his repertoire, it seems. Nice work as he denies the round for Sprout. That should spiral them into an eco now. Bomb was planted, but you can see the money's still relatively poor. They're around a 3K per player. Here's Forrest getting it done with a nice crispy one-tap to kick things off. Controlled shots. Absolute legend of the game. One miss won't rattle him too much. Just a partial buy here as the loss bonus racks up for Sprout. Looks like a B-Rush coming through, hoping to trade out with Rez here. He'll miss the first shot and stay with the CZ. This is brave stuff, but he has got great backup, and Rez will actually finish things off in style. Actually hit that first AWP shot. I thought it didn't connect, but there it is. He does manage to open things up and stays behind the wooden board. Completely shuts down that B-Rush. No problem whatsoever. NIP not taking an 8-1 deficit this time. They're actually looking in control of the situation. And the Safix, who is, like we said, a key player in the first showing against Kingwin. He's got 7 frags, 7 deaths so far. A couple of compromises made again. Lack of utility and short shot connecting once more. Can Dennis avoid the nade? No, he can't. He goes down to 4, but still survives. Great attempt there by Rez. Unlucky not to get a kill.
So Rez does back to the site. Nato still tries to fire up through middle. Good banana control this time for Sprite. Sprite? Sprout. I'd like a Sprite. No, I wouldn't. They're bad for my teeth.
Get the sugar-free one.
Would you like a Sprite?
I've got some Sprites at home. I'm ready. Already prepared.
Maybe you like mix them with vodka? Like the vodka 7?
No, why would I ruin perfectly good vodka like that?
Yeah, that's true. Why would you? How dare you? So again, the double smoke's down. This it's Clever, it gets them toward water. It certainly bypasses Rez. It gives them access to ruins, but that's being read. So NIP's leaving Get Right back. Now, in leaving him back, it means they can also isolate Rez's position, and Get Right can't do anything to support because he's so far removed. And as such, they now get the bomb site.
Well, that's exactly what Sprout wanted. They know the orbs at B, if they can negate it at the very start and not allow him to get that opening pick like he tried to on Dennis. He did a ton of damage, but Dennis smartly plays right at the back of the pack. Not going to be exposed, actually given the AWP as well now. As soon as Rez misses another shot towards Coffins, they know he's not a full-time AWP. They're in. He tried to fall back, but was in a very compromised position on the Coffins. Couldn't actually get towards Ruins. Down he goes. His teammate drops as well. That was Dennis. The two orbs shut down with nothing really gathered. 5 players survive for Sprout here. Nice round by them.